we're live again. Here I am for another Q&A with Imran. Now he's showing up on video today.
Mhm, mhm. Peace, salam to you and to everyone else watching.
So we'll wait for the one or two people who are going to stream in, stream in, and then we'll start our talk. But you can bring up what you want to go on to today. We can talk about that before people come on and put their question, or the one who's going to come, whoever it is.
I do have one, but one thing I wanted to ask you, you also mentioned it last time, but I forgot to focus on that. Uh, it's something to do with the kind of questions we ask you. And you also said that, Imran, you still ask me some stupid questions. So so I don't want to be that. So I want to correct that.
No, it's not
So
about stupid questions. I don't think I said stupid in that way. I
no,
said,
no, it wasn't that word. You
right,
use another word that you asked me strange questions or something like that.
yeah, weird, I think. I don't know. But it wasn't, I don't think I said stupid, but of course,
Yeah,
that's the
you didn't say
implication.
stupid. Sorry.
That is the
Sorry.
implication, obviously.
Yeah.
There is such a thing as stupid questions. Yeah. When people say there are no stupid questions, they're lying. There are absolutely stupid questions.
Mm. Most
Okay.
of the stupid questions I asked, by the way, before in our 15-year journey was primarily my fault because I did not study the book and started asking questions that were coming from my thoughts or what I was told. And as I read the book more, the questions became less, became maybe relevant. And then you also said that when you don't understand something, pass over, grasp what you have understood easily and make that your foundation. And then if God wishes, He will teach you.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't want to be the one who asks irrelevant question that deviates from the focal point. So elaborate on that if you can.
Yeah, I mean, my statement may be misunderstood, but I was saying basically that when you ask a question, you need to ask yourself first, how is the answer going to benefit me? Or where is this
Mm,
going to take me when I get an answer for this? Because in the Quran, it's even written that don't ask over things if open to you will do wrong to you. So,
mm,
when you ask a question, you need to know why you're asking that and what is the reasoning and what will the answer to that question benefit or not.
mm.
So, I mean, that's
Okay.
my fundamental
Mhm.
thing. And also, uh, you need to understand what you're asking, right? I mean, you need to have some basis of why you're asking the question and what is the dichotomy that need to be addressed, that you want addressed. So that needs to be a thought process within you. I never used to ask questions. I mean, now you don't ask those kinds of questions, and then the repetitive asking of the same question over and over, that I saw uh, to to be able to, I don't know how to put it, but when you ask
Regurgitating
those
the same.
questions repetitively and you're getting the same answer, but you keep asking the same question over and over again. Like people say, how are you the messenger of God? What makes you think you're a messenger of God? Are you sure? I mean, like, again and again and again. I mean, I said to you, I'm a messenger of God. You can accept it and you can reject it. Nobody's forcing anyone to believe that I'm God's messenger. No, I mean, no, God doesn't force you to believe that He exists. So, I mean, a messenger can't come and force upon you belief, or any other entity, even Satan, cannot force upon you rejection. This concept is misunderstood by most people today. People say that, look, he's got so many followers, he made X, Y, and Z believe, and then all the world is following him, he must be really great. I
Mm,
don't see that as a indicator that you are successful, that people are following you, and that you made them believe. No, you didn't. They choose. or they chose to believe what you're saying. And that's the way of the whole of this creation. I mean, nobody is forced to believe. You choose to believe. And belief intrinsically is not a knowing state. I mean, you have faith in someone. How often have you seen that your faith gets rejected or your trust is broken? How many times in life? It happens to all of
Many
us.
times.
It doesn't happen to
Many
one.
times.
So, this is all based on belief and faith. Yeah. All our life is fundamentally based on belief and faith. No, nothing else. There's no reality. There's no surety. I mean, how can you get surety in this world of anything? Really not. I mean, most people don't even believe they're going to die, which is obvious.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't think they're going to die. I mean, like, how does that work in a man's mind, in our minds? How would that work? That you don't believe that you're going to die?
Which is confirmed.
I mean, you look around, everybody's dying. Nobody's
Yeah.
escaping this existence without death. That is the only escape. There is no other escape except death from this life. I mean, show me any other way. There is no other way.
This is it. So it's like uh, most of the repetitive questions that keep getting asked again and again are primarily because the person asking the question hasn't believed it,
Or
or
is doubting or
it's
is
not.
unsure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
obvious. That is like,
Amazing. That's amazing. Yeah, that's the truth.
yeah.
So I'm going to ask you something that I believe, and I have no doubt about it. The only clarity I would seek in that is to be sure which day is that, and that is chapter the catastrophe. And if you could explain to us if catastrophe in that chapter, the catastrophe is specifically pointing towards uh, the destruction that will come on the day of the standing or day of the judgment or before that. And then there's also in that chapter talk about balance.
Hmm.
And God is saying that the one who's got the heavy balance, he will get the reward. So what is that balance, and how can I make it heavy?
Okay, well, that's a question. This is going to take about an hour or two. I'm going to be
Mm,
very succinct. Otherwise, it's
okay.
going to take a long time to answer this question.
I mean, this is like if it's coming, then that is the only thing I want to know about. One of
Yeah,
the biggest things that I would want to know about, right? Because if my balance is not heavy, I'm gone.
yeah. Okay, so let's bring the chapter up first. Uh, it's 101. Yeah, the catastrophe. So
Yeah.
the word catastrophe is generic, right, for absolute destruction, pointing to complete destruction or
Mm,
massive destruction. Let's put it that way, because there's destruction, then there's annihilation, and then there's catastrophe. And the catastrophe points to a complete destruction. But in the Quran, it's not specifically the word Karya, which is the chapter's title. You can see it on screen, right?
yeah.
This chapter title is not specifically used, or the word is not just used for the end catastrophe, because the catastrophe comes to all people at the end of their term, inevitably, which is
Mm,
coming to these people as well, no matter what they think they're making on the earth and all the progress that they have in their minds made. And obviously, apparently, we can see the progress, right? Which is making mankind, I would say, wiser and wiser by the day. Correct.
dumber and dumber by the day.
Anyway, so this is not, the word is doesn't mean directly, if it's karya, it doesn't mean the end. Yeah, the catastrophe. In this chapter, I believe this is the final end where everything will be destroyed. So let's just look at how it starts. It says the catastrophe. What the catastrophe? The question, what the catastrophe? And what will make you understand what the catastrophe? And this is speaking to one man here. Yeah, what will make you, talking to the messenger basically, because we're unaware as well until the Quran informs us. The messengers are also ignorant, oblivious, before the Quran informs the messenger or the prophet or the believer. But This one man being spoken to is the messenger, no doubt about it. So, what will make you understand? Okay, the answer initially is we don't know, obviously. A day they will be the mankind like the locusts, the spreading. So, they'll be running all over the place, however, right? The mankind bringing out from the earth or wherever, they'll be running left, right, and center that day. And will be the mountains like the cotton, the grass. So, the mountains will be blown away. So, now it comes to, but of what one heavy his balance, but he in livelihood happy. So the one whose balance is heavy, and what does this mean? Heavy on what side? The side of good. So there's a balance, and if you do um, enough righteousness after you believe, obviously, the balance is of no meaning unless you have proper faith. People always go, oh, the balance is because I keep doing righteous deeds, or that I do good deeds, or that I've helped the poor, or I've fed the orphan and the poor and the widow and all the others. All that deed or deeds of yours, the righteous, will all be repaid in this life if you do not believe properly, if your belief is erroneous. And the end will be the fire, and your deeds will be paid back here. And to the extent that at least 10 times more, you will be repaid those deeds here. Because that's how God repays every good deed, every righteous deed, every good deed is paid back, at least 10 examples of it. So you will have nothing in the hereafter, there'll be dust there. So when people say the heavy balance is only on deeds, no, 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 no. The balance is not even of any measure if your faith is wrong. So if your deed balance is heavy and you are partnering with God, or you reject God or his angels, books, and messengers, it doesn't matter. The heavy balance will not help you. So there's a corollary, yeah, a qualification for you to be able to reap benefit from your deeds. So then, and of what one light is balance, of course. Now, light balance applies to those who believe only. Those who reject, your light or heavy balance doesn't matter. So this is trying to tell us that just because we believe doesn't mean we're free of the hellfire either. This is the opposite side of the equation. So one light is but of him weakness. And what will make you understand what here? Talking to that one man, fire blazing. So now, if you believe righteous, true belief, and then you pile up evil, malicious deeds and start doing things at a level where your balance goes to less than 10% righteousness in God's vision, obviously, He measures all that, then you will go to hell even if you believe rightly. Do you see the mirror image of what's going on here? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I had muted my mic because there was noise outside.
Okay.
So,
So
so,
go ahead.
so what you're saying is my balance. First of all, catastrophe in this chapter is talking about the eventual catastrophe of everything being wiped out.
Yeah, this is the end, a catastrophe. This one is being spoken about because
Okay.
we're talking about everything destroyed. The mountains are blown away. That's going to be the end, absolutely.
Yeah. And then the balance, it's not just our deeds, good or bad. A huge amount of that is embedded on the faith.
No, all of it is embedded on the faith, not huge amount.
Oh,
Come
okay.
on.
So,
If your faith is off on the fundamental faith, of course, we can believe a lot of things, God will pass over those. We're talking about the fundamental faith of being an actual Muslim and those who believe. If you add to that or subtract from that faith, and then you start believing nonsense, which all of them do in every generation, including this, there's no separation or difference between these people. Their hearts are the same. Their what they say is similar, and their actions are similar to those before them. So yeah, it's not just that. If your faith is wrong, then you're going to hell. Doesn't matter whether you're light or heavy the balance. If your faith is righteous, true, and you are steadfast on that faith, then Your light balance may take you to hell, but the light balance is that you've done more than 10 times good deeds or righteous deeds. Sorry,
Mm.
what did I say?
Yeah, you said that the
So
basically what
let
you're
me rephrase that. Let me rephrase. So
yeah.
if your deeds are such that your evil deeds are more than 10 times your righteous deeds, you're going to go to hell as well, even if you're a believer, including any messenger or prophet. So just because you have righteous belief doesn't mean you will get out of hell if you do. And who does more than 90% evil? I mean, even the worst creatures on the earth, I'm talking from man and demons, I don't think they'll even get to 90% evil. Yeah, it's hard. I mean, we intrinsically have righteousness in us, all of us, piousness.
What about the Satans?
I mean, Satan's doesn't matter. I mean, even the Satans, they have some.
They
Uh,
say we fear God.
No, yeah, but we're
No.
talking about those Satans that are
Yeah.
already in the hellfire. They're gone.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the Satans on the earth, like Bill Gates or Trump or all these leaders on the earth, including the so-called Muslim nations, the leaders of Saudi. They're all either Satans or satanic. There's no
Mm.
two things about it. So I mean, when they do righteous stuff, it gets paid back to them here, and it doesn't matter. I mean, if you are a, a partnering person or someone who makes equals with God, or you reject God, His messengers, angels, but whatever hereafter, then your deeds have no meaning, right?
Mhm.
It doesn't matter. But I'm talking about the other side of the equation, the ones that are believers.
Mm.
They will even go to hell under certain circumstances. And those are written in the book. You can read them. I
Yeah.
mean, killing a soul without the truth, adultery, this will not be forgiven to those who are believers. He will have to do, or she, some unbelievable amount of righteousness afterwards to overcome that, because there are cardinal sins. This is after obviously partnering with God. That's the ultimate cardinal sin. If you partner with God, after obviously you have to believe God exists, and then you make equals to Him, then you make partners to Him, or you make yourself God, or you overturn His commandments which are clear to you. The rest doesn't matter then. That's what I'm trying to say. Then you're killing a soul without the truth, or adultery, or any other thing that is huge, and those are the two main things. It will not help you. You're going to hell. You do it or you don't. That's why I tell people tongue in cheek that if you're not going to believe, it's better that you rape and pillage, because there's nothing else for you after this life. You better make fun here, yeah. You better make yourself. I mean, it's a tongue in cheek way of saying it. I mean, obviously, you do that here, you're going to be caught by the law of the earth as well. People have laws still, yeah, and they're breaking apart, but they still have those laws. So, yeah, is that clear with Arya? Does
Yeah,
that
it's heavy.
so the heavy balance doesn't matter if your faith is not right. I keep telling people. People are, no, no, your righteous deeds. How can God put anyone who's done good deeds in hell? Oh yeah, really? Is that your statement? Are you going to stand on that? Anyways, so let's go to Abdullah is here and Samar is here as well. Salam to you both. So the question is the first one. Let's bring it up, yeah, and let's take this off first. Let's bring Abdullah's question. In the Quran, we are told that hell will be eternal for some and temporary for others. Can you explain this in detail? So it doesn't say exactly that it's going to be temporary for others. You can interpret that correct. You can interpret some would be temporary because in chapter 11, God says that they will be in hell forever till God decides, yeah, till He makes, except what decides the God. So there are crimes for which you will serve your punishment in hell, and you will be brought out, and there are other crimes that you will not come out of hell. One of those crimes is rejecting God, uh, rejection, rejecting His messengers, killing His messenger, killing His prophet. So all these things you will not be let out of hell for. killing a believer. If you kill a believer wrongly, forcefully, not by mistake, you will never come out of hell. It's not going to happen. Forever you will be there. And now the thing that some are going to be there temporarily, I don't know 100%. You can interpret that. I have also interpreted that it could be suggesting that they will be brought out, and it's possible. So I'll bring up this where this is in chapter 11, just to see where I see it. If you have another uh, place where this is mentioned, you tell me, Abdullah. But I will bring the place where I understand that it could be possible that they will be brought out.
In one sign, the spirit says, and they go on except what wishes the God. I'm not sure if it's pointing towards that.
Okay, let me bring this up where I see it. If you have another place where they see this is written, Abdullah, just send it to me. I'm going to bring where I believe this points to that possibility. I won't say 100% because it's not, I don't think it's that clear. Yeah. So
I just have
here,
to get my I just have to get my glasses.
okay, here it says, a day it comes, not will she speak a soul except with his will, but from them split and happy. So this is talking about the split which are going to hell. But of what those they split, but in the fire, to them in her shrieking and wailing, living perpetually in her. Perpetually means forever. What go on the heavens and the earths, except what wishes your Lord. Surely your Lord doer to what he wants. And on the other side, and of what those they happy, but in the garden, living perpetually in her, what go on the heavens and the earths, except what wishes your Lord, a giving other than law. So now you can say, if you say that this the one in the hellfire will live except what wishes God, then you can also say the garden people can come out of the garden and go to hell as well. So this is something that is more of an interpretation. It could be till the heavens go on and the earths except what wishes your Lord. Same thing with those. And it says perpetually. Perpetually means till God wishes. I've said before that forever does not mean forever. Yeah. so so again, it's an interpretation, and you can interpret, yeah, some of the crimes are going to be um, served the punishment for to those people, and then they will eventually come out. Now, is it 100%? I would say it's arguable. I won't say it's 100%. So so let's see, he's got another thing. So in some places, the Spirit says that they will be in hell eternally. Abada, yeah. So there are some who are going to be in hell forever, but and the others say they will be in hell. So if it just says that they're going to be in hell, does not mean they're not going to be in hell forever. When it says they're going to be hell forever, that means they're going to be hell forever. They're never coming out. So now the ones that say they will be in hell, you have to look in context of which people at that place they are talking about. Yeah. So you have to know, where is this the one that is said abada, forever, eternally. So which place in the Quran is it written? You have to go and look for that, right? And then you have to make a judgment what kind of people are never going to come out of hell, and which one is it saying they're going to be in hell, and then you can start and interpret, does it mean forever or not? Just because it doesn't say forever doesn't mean it's not forever. And just because it says forever doesn't mean it's forever, as this sign up here that I showed you says, except perpetually means forever, by the way. Khalidin, the word khuld is perpetual life. The word it basically means perpetually living. So, Ahzab, so can you tell me the sign in chapter 33, right? Send me the sign where it's written. we will go and check it out. So yeah, I mean, this is something that, why should we be bothered about this if we are believing in doing righteousness? It doesn't concern us, right? Why would it concern anyone who is believing in doing righteousness that will they be in hell forever? If you're true to the Quran and you're true to God, then why would you be concerned about, am I going to be in hell forever, or others are going to be in hell forever or not? Again, this is what we're speaking about, right?
Then
You
we
know,
have to know what kind of a purpose will my question serve.
yeah, no, I mean, but I'm just saying, what is the purpose of us trying to figure out those that are going to hell are ever going to come out? I don't want them to come out. If you ask me, I'm not the judge of that, obviously. If you ask me, those people, I don't want them ever to come out of hell. Why would I want anything good for those who reject God?
Yeah, and then they will say, "Oh, look, what kind of a cruel man he is."
Okay. I mean, if you look at how the messengers speak to their people in the Quran, then I would be probably in the center, yeah.
Yeah, look at Abraham,
So now this is the
father-in-law.
defense question coming in. I'll put it up. So this is your defense mechanism to develop a greater fear of God. If I fear other people are going to go to hell and they're never going to come out, then I would fear God way more than if I thought God's going to take people out of hell. So I would say anybody going to hell is going to live forever. So I'm going to do everything in my power not to go to hell. And I don't give a
Hmm.
damn if the people going to hell are never coming out or are coming out. How's that?
I have to save my soul.
Exactly. Do I give a damn about others who are going to hell? No. I give a damn about myself going to hell and my keepers who are with me, who are
What if
following.
they don't care?
Hmm?
What if they don't care?
I mean, then they go to hell. Then I would know. I will only care about those who believe. I'm the judge of those who believe from the book. The messenger judges those who believe, and the messenger judges those who reject. What does the messenger go to hell if you're rejecting? And he says it openly in the
Hmm.
Quran. The messenger says openly to those who reject him and what he brings that you're going to go to hell. You're not coming out,
Hmm.
right or not?
Yeah, shall I inform you with verse from that? What the messenger says in one of the signs,
Yeah, and
fire of
also
hell.
die in your fury. Surely God aware with your chest.
Yeah,
Your
we
end is the
dying.
fire. So the messenger is telling you, and then people tell, oh, you can't judge who's going to hell or not. God only knows. But then Muhammad was God, I guess, yeah. And Abraham,
Yeah.
because they were telling their people you're going to hell. All of them.
But they judge on each other every day.
Yeah, that no, that's different judgment. That's a different. You can judge that. That's okay. You can't judge that I'm going to hell, and you can't judge that my faith is not correct or my faith is wrong. You can't do that. You can only tell me whatever I believe is good. Like they say, I love you, whatever you are, however you are, and whatever you do, and whatever you believe, and whatever you strive after, I will always love you and I will always support you. This is the mantra of today's loving each other in the life of the world.
Yeah.
I'll give you, I love this one. Yeah.
And it's good that God will put them both together.
Obviously, they will all, and I'll show you here how that.
You love them? You love them unconditional? Okay, join them.
Okay, so this is the example. I'll show you. And I've been giving this for 15, 16, maybe 17 years. It is it is stark, and people should take heed from it when they read it in the Quran. That this is not a game that is being played here, although it's all a game at the same time. It is a game, but it's not. So now, when Abraham was thrown in the fire, by his people, so he said, but not was answer of his people except that they said, kill him or burn him. So they love the messengers, you know that, right? Every time a
Hmm.
messenger comes, they adorn him with silk. They put rings of gold around him. They put him on a pedestal and they tell him, "O messenger, O prophet, tell us what to do and we will do it immediately." And that's what they do every time, right?
They hate the
Being
messenger.
facetious and sarcastic here. But not was the answer of his people, except that they said, kill him or burn him. This is to Abraham, by the way, the highest of all
Yeah.
messengers of mankind, from mankind. But saved him the God from the fire. Surely in that to be signs to people they believing. So the fire became cool and sanctuary for Abraham when he was thrown in her. And he came out of it. Okay. So then, and he said, so now he's come out, right? And when he's thrown him in the fire, God saved him. And now he comes out of the fire and he says to his people, surely what you take from other than the God idols, loving between yourselves in the life of the world. Then day of the standing, they will reject some of you with others, and they will curse some of you others, and you're aboard the fire, and not to you from helpers. Now, once you've read this in the Quran, how are you going to tell anyone that they can't judge? Only God judges who's going to the fire. How are you
You
going to make
cannot.
that judgment? With what
Yeah.
face are you going to say that to God when you stand there? Oh, I didn't read this. Oh, but you were telling people you know what the Quran said. You're telling everyone you're following the Quran. The people who are holding the Quran, I'm talking about. Not talking about the those who hold the Bible or the Torah, which says similar stuff. By the way, the story of Abraham is quite similar. Is very similar, just like the story of Noah and Joseph and all a lot of the others, yeah, Moses and Aaron as well. So how are you going to stand there and tell God, no, 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 you are the only one who judges. This guy who came and told us, he's not God. He can't judge that we're going to the fire or not. I mean, you have to be a bit mentally challenged if you read this Quran and think that everybody is equal, that the messenger comes with a bowed head, with meek voice, and speaks in undertones and whispers to you, doesn't say anything wrong to you ever. Yeah, he just says all the good things you can ever imagine saying.
Yeah. He takes care of your feelings.
Exactly. He gives two cents to what you think. Yeah. No, that's not the truth. Oh, we
Yeah.
have no more questions, so we can move on. If you have something else to bring up, we can talk
No,
about it.
you have already talked about this for 15, 17 years. It's the arrogance.
Yeah,
It's the arrogance and it's the highness. Pride. The word is pride. The words are arrogance and pride.
yeah,
We get rid of this, there's a lot that could be accomplished.
yeah. I mean, I'm also arrogant. Every
You're arrogant with
messenger
the
is
truth.
arrogant. If you look at God, is the most arrogant. There's no two things about it.
Yeah. So let me rephrase it. Arrogant without the truth.
Absolutely. So people are arrogant without the truth. And the moment you utter a lie or a falsehood, unknowing or knowing, you're being arrogant. And it's worse to say it knowingly and less worse to say it unknowingly, obviously. If you don't know and you say something you believe, then hopefully someone will correct you. Uh, and hopefully then you will see the truth. Unless you're so deluded, which is most of the world, that you will not see that truth because you're so bent into believing that lie that your whole life revolves around it. Today, you can look at the financial aspect of this maddening life we live in. People revolve their lives around that fake currency that they make God. I say currency because it's not just the dollar, it's every currency on the earth, save none. That is a satanic construct that has been made God for these people. And they just need more and more of it. They cannot never get enough of it because you'll need more and more later to buy the same egg or the bread or the cow or the calf or the chicken or whatever. I mean, does the egg get bigger that you have to give more of those fake numbers for? Or do you or what's changing in the egg that now it's going to cost $2 instead of one or 2 baht instead of half? I mean, what is this nonsense? Total nonsense. Yeah, I mean the world is full of nonsense. And do you think those that are living in the deserts on the earth that are living off of the land that have never seen currency, are they dying because they don't have currency there? And there are places, let me tell you that. Not a
Hmm.
few, quite a few of those places. People are living out there. They don't have any currency. They live off the land. I mean, everybody is actually living off the land. They're not living without the land. If the land would not be here, how are you going to live? If the water is not running and you don't have water, where are you going to get? How are you going to buy water if water doesn't exist? First of all,
Yeah.
I mean, like, I gave this example to someone like 20 odd years ago. I think I said that if we have $1 trillion in the bank and there's no bread to buy, what is that $1 trillion going to do for you?
Nothing.
That's the way it is anyway. So I don't see any more questions coming in now. Yeah.
Today, when I was uploading the new chapters to the Majestic Reading YouTube channel, uh, surprisingly, the videos you had asked me to get rid of 15 years ago, I did not delete them. I put them in private mode, so they're not visible. But
Mhm.
when I logged into the account after like 10 years, they showed me the videos. Do you want me to delete them or I can keep them in private?
I don't even know what videos you're talking about. So
I'm talking about the videos we did 15 years ago in my house
oh,
near
those
the
ones. Yeah,
yeah,
delete them. It doesn't matter. I took it down as well. At that time, I didn't even know that the Earth was being presented as a complete delusion to us. So some of the
yeah,
things I said there was based on that false, ignorant belief that the so-called Earth and Moon and Sun are these balls revolving around each other. Yeah.
yeah.
So no, just delete them. It doesn't matter. I mean, we have enough
But
information now for those who want to understand and learn from the Quran. It's all there. So anyway, we got another question coming. Let's bring up the question. According to the Quran, would it be accurate to say that a believer must have a certain type of lifestyle from which she cannot deviate in order to remain a believer? Nope. First of all, define lifestyle. And that's my question back to you. What is lifestyle? Oops.
if I'm a believer, that is my lifestyle.
Yeah, but lifestyle has a meaning, right? I mean, there is a meaning of lifestyle, right? I mean, the lifestyle has a meaning.
Hmm.
The word lifestyle, what does it mean? What do you mean by lifestyle? Explain that first. I'm waiting for a feedback on that. Then we'll continue. So, yeah, I mean, a believer, how you're going to succeed is written over and over in the Quran. You don't have to go into depth about it. He says routine of life. No, there is no particular way that God has ordained for you to live your daily life. It's not ordained. You can live your life however you want. Doesn't matter. What the Quran tells you over and over, completely without deviation, without any kind of uh, interpretation required, is these two things: believe and do righteousness. Period. Okay, that will save you. How you live your life, I mean, what does a routine of life? Everybody cannot live the same life. Everybody cannot live in the same land which has the same fruits. You have to live your life according to the land you live on to sustain yourself. That has nothing to do with your belief and doing what's right or wrong. So uh, the how to save yourself, how to be a true believer, is to believe and do the righteousness, what is right, other than what is wrong. That's the routine of your life. That should be. Period. Then people will ask, what is right and wrong? Read the Quran. It tells you what is right and wrong. And it tells you very few things that you cannot do. So stay away from them. And if you look at mankind, and it has never changed, mankind has always been doing the wrong instead of the right, and making the right wrong and the wrong right. And today is an absolute example of how that works. An absolute example, if today's man, everything is on its head. I mean, in the last 30 years, they've turned everything on its head. Everything good is evil, everything evil is good. And good cannot be heard, and evil has to be glorified. This is how they're working today. And the schism is going to come, the break is going to arrive. There will be no, what do you call it? There will be no uh, quarter given mercy from God when that break arrives. They will be running, screaming, wailing, shrieking, and they will be captured and they will put in hell. So, still says the routine of life. I mean, there's no routine. I mean, there's like God says you should pray 3 times a day, okay, in the Quran. So, do that. God says, help the poor and the orphans and the refugees and the widows and the divorced women. He says, all those, do those things. That should be your routine. I mean, what kind of routine are we talking about? And it's not like you have to do all of that. You do what you want. If you want to feed the poor, you feed the poor. If you want to help the orphans, help the orphans. So here's another question. So he's saying that if salat is not performed regularly, even after understanding the Quran, would it be Quranic accurate to say that they are no? No, absolutely not. If you're a believer, you're in salat all the time. Okay, the true believers do not stop to pray 3 times a day. They are in constant prayer. You don't understand what prayer is, obviously. Most people do not understand what prayer is. The word salat, the actual meaning of the word salat in Arabic in the Quran is to touch or connect, to communicate, to contact, to make contact. So the moment you think of God, you are in salat. The word prayer has been destroyed. Namaz is a construct of these fools in the subcontinent. It is salat, and the word salat means contact or communicate. When you speak to God, or when you just remember God in your heart without even speaking to Him, you are in prayer, so called. Yeah, you are in salat. So, and God says, make constant the prayer. Okay, He doesn't make the statement isn't pray 3 times a day and that's it. No, those are for the people who are just starting to believe, to make constant the 3 times to pray during the day. The time you wake up at the dawn, or when you wake up in the middle of the day sometime, and before you sleep. That's it. At least God wants you to stop and remember Him those 3 times. That's the least you can do. And some believers are like that, because I mean, believers are also like screwed up in the head in many ways. So this is no, absolutely, it's not accurate at all to say. I mean, if you're a believer, then you will remember God, and it destroys this question. I mean,
We're
because you,
praying right now.
I mean, of course, this is prayer. I'm talking about God, and I'm remembering God while I talk to Him, or talk about Him rather. So that's prayer, absolutely. It's not the prayer that you've been taught. That is total nonsense. Yeah. If you ask me, the Christians are the only ones who actually pray, although they are partnering and going to hell, all of them, most of them. But they're the ones who actually perform a prayer, because they speak to God. They kneel on the side of their beds or whatever, sit, and they speak to God. They say to Him what they want to say to Him. That's prayer, not reciting nonsense that you've been taught and you don't even understand. Yeah. Or even if you read the Arabic of the Quran, which you don't understand, how is that prayer when you don't? I mean, like, it's like if you utter Chinese or Japanese or Indonesian, which you don't understand, how is that going to help the guy you're communicating with, or you don't know what you're saying, and you say something to him in that language which he understands, but you don't know what you're saying. How is that communication going to work? It's not. So yeah, no, this is absolutely inaccurate because you don't understand what prayer is. So I that's my judgment. If you ask a question like this, then I know you don't understand what prayer is. It ain't what you've been taught. I've been saying this for 20 years, 15 years, 17 years. 2007 was the first time I figured out that the prayer I was taught was a complete farce. And I rejected it. And then slowly God showed me. And I looked back and I used to pray to God before because I used to talk to Him since I was 9 years old. Okay, so here's another one.
Watim salata wa zakat.
Yeah. Can you also explain the zakat mentioned within the Quran? Is it what we've been taught or is it something different? It is absolutely not what we've been taught. Okay. What we've been taught is zakat is giving money, charity. Yeah. I have to laugh. I'm sorry. I have to laugh at that. Now I'm going to calm down. Okay. So, zakat, the word zakat comes from zakiyun. And zakiyun means to one who is pure, and zakat means purity. Has nothing to do with charity. Now, when you give your wealth in the cause of God, when you feed the poor or take care of orphans or any other refugees or whatever you do to help mankind by spending your money, it will bring purity to you. Okay, that doesn't mean that that's what will bring purity at the highest level. The highest level of purity will come when you make constant the prayer. It's written in the Quran. Make constant the prayer and bring the purity. They say, in the translation of most of these fools, is that they say pray and give charity. Okay. So if I don't have money, I'm screwed, aren't I? I'm screwed. And half the people have no money to give. Obviously, half, I'm being very conservative. 80% of the people don't have money to give, except they can't even feed their children properly. So what are they going to do? They're never going to get any benefit from God. This is how they delude people. This is the delusion we all live in. There's nothing to do with charity. The making constant of the prayer is to bring purity to yourself. That's the ultimate way to purify yourself, by making constant the prayer, the salat, the communication with God, the constant connection with God and God in your mind, in your heart, in your soul, in your thoughts. That's how you bring purity, zakat, to yourself. And also by bringing your wealth, and then your soul will be purified because of that. That is a secondary way. That is an added bonus for those who have wealth. But those who have wealth, try and pry their money away from them. All of us are the same. We have to spend from what we love. Yeah. And the benevolence will not come to us before we spend from what we love. It's not going to come. Do what you want because you love wealth. Period. We all love wealth. You have to push the love of wealth away and adopt the love of God instead. And let God decide what wealth you need to sustain yourself in this world. Otherwise, you will fall to the hellfire like Bill Gates is going to fall, like George Soros is going to fall, like Jamie Dimon, like Trump, like Starmer, like Modi, like all the leaders, MBS, MBZ, all these CC and Erdogan, all of them are going to go to the hellfire. Putin, Xi Jinping, all of them are going to go to the hellfire. There is no escape for them. Yeah, there's nothing they can do to escape because, first of all, they reject God. End of discussion. And then they want to make themselves rich, and being prosperous and rich is the achievement of this world, nothing else. So I hope that, I mean, we can even look, you can go and search for where it says make constant the prayer. Yeah. So,
Watim salata wa zakata.
let me.
Warkau ma raki'in. Bow with the
So
bowing.
there are 37 places where it says make constant the prayer. Yeah. And then I don't know, and bring the purity. Let's see how many there are. So there are 10 places. So let's go through them, yeah? Let's go through these and then we'll have one more question. I think 1 hour will be up. I don't want to go beyond an hour. So let's bring this. You see it?
Mm-hmm.
So here it is. And make constant the prayer and bring the purity and bow with the bowing. So وَأَقِيمُوا الصَّلَاةَ وَآتُوا الزَّكَاةَ وَارْكَعُوا مَعَ الرَّاكِعِينَ. Okay?
Alhamdulillah.
This is to the sons of Israel, God said. And then again, make constant the prayer and this atos. They say give, yeah? Atos mean to bring, not to give. The word is bring, come with, not give. Also, people don't understand the words. These prepositions, they make a difference in the whole understanding. You change the bring and give the charity. I mean, this is to make the rich powerful. The satanic cults have changed the word giving charity makes you good, period. And then they've got Bill Gates and all his cohorts who give charity. Yeah, they've been given so much charity that they are now richer than they ever were. Which can happen, by the way. I'm not saying it can't, because God will give you back 10 times minimum of what you give to help others. But I don't think they've done anything to help anyone except themselves. These people, yeah, the technocrats and the so-called rich and famous on the earth, they don't do it to help others. They're doing it to help themselves. And of course, you can also say we also do it to help ourselves, not anyone else. Correct. But we actually want the lives of those people to be better than they are when we help them, as opposed to these people.
They
Anyway,
give it to their own foundations. It comes
yeah,
back to them.
exactly. And that's all about tax evasion as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Otherwise, those people would have been at least fed or some improvement in their lives, the ones that they're claiming to give billions of dollars to.
yeah, they're all mutilated and handicapped. Yeah. Especially the tests
Yeah.
they did with the vaccinations on them. So
Yeah.
again, make constant the prayer and bring the purity. This sentence has been mistranslated by this generation. I don't know what the last one did, completely destroying the actual meaning of this sentence. Make constant the prayer and bring the purity. When you make constant the prayer, you will bring the purity yourself from God. Okay? He will purify you. Okay, and then when you're purified to an extent where you start not loving your wealth like you do, then you bring your wealth and you purify yourself additionally. Then you spend in the path of God truly, being a believer, being of those who believe, and then you bring more purity yourself. But if you do it to get the adulation of mankind, the adoration of mankind, then and you don't believe properly, ain't gonna help you for anything at all. Oh wow! Now this is too big of a question. We don't have enough time, but I will bring it up anyway here. Can you please also explain the Hajj that is mentioned within the Quran? Also, what is the role of both houses in the Hajj? The house in Jerusalem and the house in Makkah. Okay, so the Hajj is the contention. It means the contention. And the Hajj is to Jerusalem. It is not to Makkah. It has never been to Makkah. It will never be to Makkah. Okay? The house in Jerusalem, as written in the Arabic, is called Bat al Atiq. And the house in Makkah is called Bat al Haram. And haram means something that is sanctified, forbidden, disallowed. Yeah. And that house, one of the reasons it's disallowed is that we're not allowed to fight within that mosque. The mosque in Makkah, which is also called Masjid al Haram. The mosque, the disallowed, or the mosque, the sanctified, or the mosque, the forbidden, whichever word you want to use for it, it doesn't matter. You choose. But something that is out of bounds. But if they fight you in there as believers, you are allowed to fight them. That's the reward of God to the rejected. They will be fought wherever they fight the believers. Yeah. So that house is, for whatever reason, God made it via Abraham and Ismail there after he deposited him in Makkah. And obviously, the line is that Muhammad is going to come from there, obviously, the line of Ismail. And those are the two symbolic houses of God on earth. Whereas there are no other symbolic houses of God. These are the only two ones that God has left on the earth. And the other is in Jerusalem. It's on the eastern side of the old city of Jerusalem, next to the Wadi Tuwa, which is next to the Ture Sinin, the Mount Sinai. They say Mount Sinai is down in the south in the Sinai Peninsula. That's a bunch of lies. That's false. That mount on the other side, on the eastern side of the old house, is Ture Sinin. That is that mountain. And that Hajj is, what is it? To commemorate Abraham's almost sacrifice of his son because of dreams that he had, because of visions he had in his sleep. So, and he didn't, obviously, he did not, it did not happen. And God freed it with a sacrifice, great, of an animal. So the whole thing is to commemorate Abraham's action, nothing else, nothing else. And to visit that house, which is in Jerusalem, and spend at least 2 days there. Minimum 2 days, God says, yeah. And whoever wants to stay more, great. And whoever wants to hasten in 2 days, they can, no problem. And you make an offering. And the offering is, the best is a animal brought to the house, sacrificed there in the middle where the dome of the rock stands, and then feed everyone standing around. Poor, the not so poor, the quiet, the askers, whatever. You feed them, and then you go home and you pray a lot there, and then you go home. That's it. It's as simple as that. Makkah has nothing to do with Hajj at all. Zero, zip. You don't have to go anywhere close to Makkah to do the Hajj. You just have to go to Jerusalem, spend 2 days, and I'm giving you an overview. There's other details in there, but I'm giving you the basic understanding of what this act of Hajj is to go to Jerusalem, spend at least 2 days, make an offering, pray, and come back. And that's it. Simple as that. This will not take you to hell or save you from hell either. It may save you from hell, but there's no guarantee.
Believing with the God the day the later, that
Yeah,
would be of more value.
of course, then Hajj, obviously. So what if visiting Jerusalem is not possible nowadays for one who is a believer? So God says, actually, yesterday I was reading this sign, yeah? Yeah, day before yesterday, I was reading this sign. I'll bring it up for you.
If all I can say is that if your intention is pure with the God, then He will find a way to send you there.
No, no, that's not what I'm going to talk about here.
Okay.
Okay, so let's bring this up. Just yesterday I was reading this sign, or day before, I'm not sure. So here it says, and complete the contention, Hajj. The word Hajj means contention. A contention is something you want to get done, yeah, and the visit to God. So you can visit both houses, by the way. I mean, I don't say don't go to Makkah, by the way. Don't misinterpret what I'm saying. I don't say don't go to Makkah. I've been to Makkah 4 times, and I've been to Jerusalem 4 times in my life. Go when you want, if you want. So now there is one who has a to it a path. Where is that written? That's not written here. Oh, maybe it's like in chapter 3. That's why I thought it was yesterday. It was in chapter 3. There, it's actually chapter 3, and exactly right. I was reading it yesterday. So here it says, let's go to where this. I don't know whether I switched to that side. No, I didn't. Let me
Wasn't
share.
it on the left side, the click open chapter?
No, hold on a second. Hold on a second. I'm going to share where the thing opened. It when I click on the
Yeah,
sign,
new tab opened.
it goes to the other place. Yeah.
Hmm.
So here we go. So here So this is the messenger says, truth of the God, but follow nation of Abraham true, and not is from the partnering. So now when people say oh, it's only Muhammad to follow, and Muhammad is telling you to follow nation of Abraham, who are all the messengers before him and before me, you're going to stand in front of God and somehow explain that how that's going to work. Anyway, surely first house set up to the mankind to be the one with wailing. Yeah. So they say Bakka was the name of Makkah. just to screw up all of this. Yeah. This comes from the word crying or wailing, bakat. The word in Arabic is bakat, to cry or to wail. Where is the wailing wall? In Jerusalem, okay? Blessed and guidance to the knowing, Alameen, not to the whole universe. This is also the nonsense again, destroying the meaning of these words. In it, signs clear, station of Abraham, and one who enters it is secure. So whoever enters that, and I've been there lots of times, you have been as well, Imran, and to
Yeah,
God
thanks.
over the mankind, contention of the house, one capable to it a path and one who rejects, but surely the God self-sufficient over the knowing. So now, if you look at this statement, if you're not capable to it a path, God ain't going to do anything to you wrong. But if you reject when you are able to go just because you make excuses and you're a fool, then you will have to answer to God for it, which is all the rich and famous again, right?
Even without rich and famous.
Yeah.
Uh,
So Summer says, when you are sincere to God and his messengers, absolutely. Absolutely. When the that all that matters, if you're sincere to God and his messengers. And this, oh no, only to God, really. Look in the book. Be sincere to God and to his messengers. Do not betray God and do not betray his messengers, because he takes no prisoners when you do that. When you betray his messenger. So which sign are you talking about? Abdullah is asking about a sign. Which sign are you talking about, Abdullah? Sign number of what? I mean, when you write a text with this sign number of what? Right? I mean, like the communication in text is really quite, I would say, difficult.
you can also remind him that on this channel, God and His Books, if he goes to the earlier podcasts, then there is a whole show on the Hajj, and then there's a whole show on the Hajj if he goes to the lightandthelamb.com on the YouTube channel.
Yeah,
There's
I
a
mean,
whole show over there too.
yeah, you can, if you go to my videos, I've explained all of these things in great detail from the Quran, not just these two, three signs I show you. All the signs related to this are explained. This is in chapter 3, and it's sign number 90. What is it? 97, 96, and 97. Chapter 3, sign number 96 and 97 is where this is written. And that is the first house set up to the mankind, which is in Jerusalem, not in Makkah. Makkah was made when Abraham and Ishmael went there and they built that house, and God showed them both the foundations of that house to build in Makkah, the Kaaba, called the Kaaba. Anyway, that's it. I think we're over 1 hour now.
If just before I forget, we can talk about it next time. But just before you go, one is that uh, I believe with all the other books of God, and I whatever that matches between them, I follow that. But with specifically to the Quran, I believe and I follow the Quran, and I don't disrespect any other book of God. I follow this book. Uh, if you can explain to me, is there any other book of God that teaches us how to be a Muslim and how to believe and how to be a believer?
Again, is there what?
Is there? I don't mean to disrespect any book of God. I believe with all of them. But is there any other book of God besides the Quran that teaches us how to become a submitter, how to become a believing man or woman, and how to become a believer?
The believer you cannot be except with the Quran today, because the Torah has been hidden. We don't have the whole Torah, and the Injil has been destroyed by adding Jesus is Son of God, and this then they add the Trinity after that and make you believe that nonsense. No, there's the only book that will make you a believer today is the Quran with the will of God. Ain't gonna do it without the will of God. Just like
Yeah.
I can make you a believer with the will of God. It's not me making you a believer, it's God. He sends his
Mm,
messengers to make you believe, right?
mm,
If he wanted to do it himself, he wouldn't send his messenger. He'd come himself and make you a believer. But
mm,
that's not how it works. Yeah. So I
mm.
don't understand this question. That may I ask more questions, sir? I'm still only learning, and I would like to start from the basics. Yeah, but like 1 hour, I'm done. Yeah, I have other things to do
Okay.
today. Ask one more question today. Go ahead. I give you one more question.
Can you give
Otherwise,
two more? One for him, one for me.
okay, one for you
Yeah.
and one for Imran. You go ahead, Imran. He hasn't. Okay, I have
Okay.
read English translations, but I'm sure now that indeed those translations are not all accurate English translations of the Quran. Wow, that's good. I figured that out in 2006, 7. Yeah, I mean, I'm just being jovial here. Yeah, good that you figured that out. Absolutely. The only translation in English that is as close to the Quran as not can be, as close to the Quran that is absolutely needed is the one God made me do. There is nothing even close to the translation that I have done in the world today, not even one little. Yeah. And Quran, yep, is absolutely enough to guide us to be a believer. Okay, Imran, you go first. He's making his question later.
Uh, the video that God showed me today of yours from 15 years ago was about what I had in my heart, but I wasn't bringing it out.
Okay.
So I have to bring it out because he showed me that video, and in that video, I was asking you about indiscriminate killing.
Hmm.
So if you could tell us, uh, according to the Quran, if we believe with the Quran and if we struggle to follow it and obey it, uh, what what is our stance when we see indiscriminate killing of anyone despite their faith? What should we be saying when we see somebody indiscriminately kill someone?
I mean, it's to be abhorred, absolutely aberrant. The Quran says if you kill a soul without the truth and other than warring in the earth, it's like killing all of mankind. Okay, one soul. So how would should we react? By taking the one who killed that soul and as believers put him to death after proof of his killing. We have to have witnesses, right? You have to have clear evidence. You can't just accuse someone of killing and put a bullet through his head. Yeah. So the indiscriminate killing is, I was said, I remember, was on the basis of that you can't go around killing whoever you want. Now, there is a time when they will be killing by God and the believers when his command comes, as it came with all messengers. At that time, either the angels will kill everyone who is against God, or the believers with the help of God will kill everyone who is against God. There's no rules left anymore because the
Mm,
term has come for the people. And that's what happened with the Quran coming down, and people accuse Muhammad of being a bloodthirsty warlord. Nonsense. He was told to do it then because the command of God has come and it's going to happen. Just like when the command of God came to the people of Lot, what happened? Abraham tried to stop it. God told him
mm,
to step aside. The command has come, it will come to them what is promised, other than stopping. And they were all massacred, put upside down, and in the hellfire forever, while Lot and his family were saved, except his woman. So, yeah, I mean, if you kill someone wrongly without the truth, the punishment in this life is death, unless the first of kin for that person forgives the killer, like your father, your mother, your brothers, your children. They can forgive no one else, not the government, not the police. These days, the police is a construct. It's a construct which is a lie based on legal forms of nonsense written on paper by man, which is more there to save the leaders and the people who are rich and famous than to help anyone in particular. Absolutely. So yeah, I mean the punishment for killing a soul in this life is death. Period. So if you go around killing people, you're liable to be killed, and no one's going to ask you anything about it in the hereafter. Maybe in this world they might ask you because you can't kill. You have to have the judge to come and make that. No, 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 no. If you see someone being killed without justice, without just cause, you can enact the law of God, which is in your hands, especially if it's your brother or your father. You can kill that entity there. Nobody's going to ask you anything in the hereafter where it matters. Here, it doesn't matter. Here, they can do whatever you want. If they kill you for that, well, you're free of all your crimes. They will take your crimes on their hands if they kill you for that act. You don't have to have these bloody judges to come and tell you what is right or wrong in this sense. When you kill a soul, the first of kin of that soul has every right to kill you, period. They can forgive. You as a person, you can't just go killing people. Now, if you know someone who is killed and you know the party who killed them, then that becomes a little more, I would say, more convoluted, right? But the same story applies. Then you have to go to the first of kin of that one killed and say, "This is the one who killed him. What do you want to do with him?" Right? You
Hmm.
have to think a little, right? I mean, it's like you can't just go killing people. This it's just not it doesn't work like that. Now, if you're the first of kin of that person and you know the one who killed without a doubt in your mind, you have every right to take revenge by killing that person, period. There is no two things about it. There is no two laws about it. That is the law. Absolutely. And then they say that the rejectors have to be killed. That's nonsense. You cannot go hurt anyone physically, harm anyone physically if they haven't harmed you physically, period, as a believer. Yeah. And if you are harmed physically, you can take revenge in an equivalent manner physically against that entity. That's it. No more, period. Or you can pass over. You can say, okay, do what you want, I'll pass over you. Next time you come, I'm going to cut your head off or something like that. Anyway,
But
so
the soul that but the soul that got killed, uh, the 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 evils of that soul will be passed over to the killer, but the soul will not be forgiven for their own partnering and their own
oh yeah,
rejection.
the faith is you have to stand on your faith. You're just because you relinquish all your crimes and your sins to the person who killed you wrongly doesn't absolve you of your faith. That's why I say deeds have no meaning if your faith is wrong.
Mm.
If your faith is right, then your deeds have meanings in the hereafter. Here they have meaning. Obviously, God pays you back for your deeds here. He doesn't reject the deeds of anyone who does good deeds. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Not a chance. No way. Anyway, so now we have. So he's bringing a question with if a person has killed someone during their childhood years at the age of 15 or 16, would it be sufficient for them to only repent to God after really realizing the truth, or is there something else which they must do as a compensation for their sin of killing an innocent soul? No, you kill a soul at 15, 16, you know what you're doing. Unless you're mentally retarded, then you don't know what you're doing at 50 either. But no, that killing of the soul, if you do it wrongly and you know, is it premeditated or it was an act of error that you killed the soul? If it's an act of error, then you need to go and make whole to his keepers a paying, yeah, and then release um, innocent or captives which are believing. That's written in the Quran. If you did it mistakenly, now if you're not a believer, then you obviously when you become a believer, you saw you killed someone, you repent to God. What else can you do now? It's done, yeah. Then you have to go and repent to God and hope He'll forgive you. He forgave Moses. God can forgive you for any crime once you repent and you make then righteous deeds to compensate for that. Whatever good you can do to compensate for that killing a soul. Absolutely. And that's going to take a lot of righteous deeds to compensate for that. And then continuing on, And what if the murderer doesn't know where the family of the one who was killed could be found, so they could ask them for forgiveness or ask them to avenge themselves? However, yeah, I mean, then you go to God. What else can you do? You go to God, right? I mean, if you can't find the family to go and right your wrong, if you're the killer, then you go to God and you do righteous deeds to cover the evil, the absolute evil you've done. And the hope that He can forgive you is the hope of Moses, who killed a soul wrongly. Yeah, he still believed God at that time, obviously, because he says, this is surely the deed of a Satan. He makes us stray clearly. Moses, and then he turned to God, says, I have wronged my soul, so forgive to me. Inni zalamtu nafsi faghfirli, right? And faghafara lah. So forgive to him just for asking that, okay? So again,
Beautiful.
you have to repent to God if you can't write with that family, obviously. You can't find them. And when you did it, you were totally astray. And in this case, Moses believed that there was a God when he killed that soul. So, yeah, you have to go and do it for yourself. Once you thank God, I've never killed a soul. Yeah, I don't intend to do that. I've done many other crimes that I need forgiveness for, but so far I have not killed a soul without the truth. I have not killed a soul, period. So, anyway, so this was like a continuation of the question, Abdullah. Do you have any other question? This is now this question has been added on to my 1 hour and 20 minutes. See, I have to stop, and it's 20 minutes. It's like that break of an aircraft carrier. Yeah.
The sign that you just read is, correct me if I'm reading it right. Rabbi inni zalamtu nafsi faghfirli.
Exactly, in Arabic. My Lord,
Lord, surely I.
I wronged my soul, so forgive to me.
Hmm, beautiful.
I say that every day. God only knows how many times. Because
Um,
every day I'm wronging something or the other. No doubt in that.
Beautiful.
I mean, like, and how much I've wronged in my life, only God knows, because I can't calculate. I mean, I've forgotten most of the things I did wrong, like everyone else. Yeah.
If you think you are wrong, you cannot imagine how wrong the rest of your people are,
I don't care about
including
them. Yeah.
me.
I only care about my own wronging, not theirs. I will not be
We
questioned for the wronging of other people. I will
That is
only be
true.
questioned for my own wronging.
But thank God that God sends his messengers. Thank
Obviously, but
God for that.
nobody thanks God for that.
I do.
Well, you are a
Thanks to God.
nobody, right? As far as we're concerned, we're of the nobodies on the earth today.
It's
There's
okay.
nobody. I'm a nobody. Okay,
Enough
so
for me.
if so, your kid, he's continuing on the same context here. Let's see. For the believer, if the believer doesn't have money to pay to the kin of the murderer or a slave to free, 60 days you fast. If you don't have that, 60
Yeah.
consecutive days you have to fast. If you did it mistakenly, if you killed on purpose a believer, there is no forgiveness for that. On purpose. If you did it forcefully, if you kill any believer forcefully, there is no forgiveness for that. For the others, there is this. If you did it by mistake, a believer, you have to compensate for that. If you kill rejectors, the compensation is the same. Like if a believer kills a non-believer wrongly, the sentence is still death. I don't see any other sentence for that. Just like if a rejecter kills a believer in this world, the punishment in this world is death, execution, right? We're talking about the hereafter here more than this here, yeah? In the hereafter, if you kill a believer purposefully, forcefully, premeditated, there is no escape from that. So that's why I keep telling people, try and kill me and see what happens to you after that. Yeah, I've been waiting for like 17 years for someone to show up and put a bullet in my head. Nobody's shown up yet. I've told them, come, try and kill me. I invite you. See what happens to you after that.
Not will they tarry except a
A
little after
little
that.
here. I don't. And what is a little? 100 years, 50 years, 20
It
years,
doesn't
two
doesn't
days.
matter.
2 days. It does not matter. Everything is little here. There's no lot here on this world. Yeah. So which is the question? I said about they must. What is this? They must also do as a compensation for their sin of killing an innocent soul? I don't understand this question. They must also do as a compensation for their sin of killing an innocent soul? I don't know. I don't know if any soul is innocent, by the way. I don't know that. I didn't understand. And what if the murderer doesn't know where the family are? I already answered that. So I don't understand that question. And then let's bring this one. That I also said. And this, what does it say? Check the question before the last. I couldn't understand what you mean by this. They must also do as a compensation. I don't understand this question. So anyway, ask your other question that you wanted. Or this is it, man. Actually, I'm kind of done now. Yeah, um, I'm done now. Okay, so we will hopefully, if wishes the God, we will convene again next week at the same time, around 11 a.m. my time. All right then, guys. Salam.